All right. Welcome to the episode of the Bring the Juice podcast. I am your host, Frank Delanda. Today, we got one of the reoccurring guests on the pod. If you've been following Bring the Juice over the past few months, you understand the importance of this. Fresno Pro-Am Commissioner Alton Williams. Alton, say what's up to Bring the Juice Nation one time.
What up, Bring the Juice family?
First we gonna rock, then we gonna fold, then we let it pop, don't let it go.
I feel like I'm a part of the family. I feel like you guys should know who I am, and I know who you are. So
Yeah, we should make a Christmas card or something like that,
we
right?
should.
Yeah, we totally should. Something that's different since you've been on the pod. This episode of Bring the Juice is brought to you in part by the American Pistachio Growers. If you want to perform like the pros, then eat your pistachios. Eat your nuts, kids. We need all these professional athletes that are performing in the Fresno Pro-Am to be eating pistachios on the sideline. I could get that. I can make that happen.
You can make that happen?
I can make that happen.
Can we go like to the nutritional value of that?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, first of all, like, let's just think about if you have a 10-year-old child and you're making him a sandwich, you give him an apple, and usually you'd give them chips. Mm-hmm. That kid, but if you gave him pistachios instead of chips, that kid's going to be living healthier. He's going to be getting better grades. He's going to be running faster, jumping higher, dunking basketball, scoring touchdowns, and hitting home runs.
What's the name of the company again?
American Pistachio Growers. It's not a company. It's the California people who produce pistachios and feed the world.
So it's a collective.
98% of the world's pistachios are grown within a 100-mile radius of this podcast. Yeah.
Can we let that sink in?
Let it sink. It's a lot.
That's big
The
time.
world's a big place.
Yeah.
I love to see it. And right now, even though pistachios are worldwide, Fresno Pro-Am is soon going to get to be known worldwide. 100%. Right now, it's local, which is good. Got to collect the low-hanging fruit. Let's talk about the Fresno Pro-Am. Give us the definition, the bullet point summary of what the Fresno Pro-Am is.
Well, Fresno Pro-Am, our mission is to bring people and communities together through the power of basketball. And I see a lot of football jerseys hanging around here right now. So
Yeah.
I just want to gift you one of these because you don't have a basketball jersey.
Wow. Make sure we get a zoom in on that. Yeah. The old Pro-Am.
It's actually game worn.
Game worn.
By a champion of the season one. So you see
There you
the
go.
one right there.
There you go.
This is by Austin Armstead. I just want to get this to you here.
Appreciate it. Jersey swap.
Yes, sir.
Jersey swap. Check it out. We're going to throw this on the wall for sure. This is going to make the wall. This is going to make the wall.
100%. So
absolutely.
That's Austin Armstead.
I'm going to put it on real quick.
Austin Armstead, he let's get it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, Austin Armstead, he hails from Chicago. Him and his brothers, family's been in the community, really involved in the basketball community, and he's a champ. Played with the Generals under Coach Crawley.
I love Coach Crawley. He's been in some of those pregame interviews.
He has been, and so man, that looks good on you.
They crispy. They match the new Bring the Juice hats pretty well.
They do. So I look forward to seeing that on the wall pretty soon.
It'll be on there. I promise. This will be on the wall.
Yeah. So I mean, back to your point. I mean, bringing people and communities together, and we do that through initiatives, by community building initiatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's don't lowball it though, Alton. Like, it's not your casual pickup. This is a aggressive league that you have with the Fresno Pro-Am, where NBA players, overseas players who play Division I college ball of all levels, they come during a quote unquote kind of lull in the year, kind of an off season summer ball type vibe, and they come to get better. And it's competitive. It's not. Look, if you were the captain of your JV high school basketball team, you might not be of caliber to play in this league.
I like to be inclusive, but at the same time, like what you're saying is like, your game is going to show on this platform. So if you step out there and you're not ready,
there's levels.
There's levels to this. So
there's levels to this shit.
That's what kind of platform. And you know me, man. I'm modest about the thing, and I let the players do what they do, and I have my role within all of this.
No, I totally understand that. I'm just saying this is a league in where you want NBA players to gravitate towards it and train versus instead of going to LA in the Drew League or around the country. I know there's ones in Dallas. Every city's got them. Eventually, you want some top tier dogs coming to play in Fresno, right?
And that's no secret, ex-pro Greg Smith has already played in it.
Right.
Quincy Pondexter has already reached out. We had conversations, and he's like, "Let's turn this thing up." So we're That's no secret. Every pro-am league's gonna want those dudes. And Fresno's, we now have a platform. So when Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has ties to Fresno, is in his off season, and he's working out at GB3, which people have already seen him do.
Come drop by.
Come stop by. Right, the fans are gonna love it. Yeah, this is where it's at.
It's popping vibes. How so? You know, I want to bring up the relevance to the Fresno Pro-Am continually showing up on Bring the Juice. I'll start it off. You finish it.
Okay.
There was our first episode ever. Well, kind of how me and Alton interacted originally. I think it was just a DM or a number swap. Had a phone call. You had a vision. I said, I love it. Want to see you blossom and grow. Came on the pod with Greg Smith. And it went from, I don't know what this is, to where I actually got aggressive on it. And it was like, bro, this is the league. And I batted out of my league a little bit, pressing you for that because it's your baby. And we talked about before the show, like, Bring the Juice is my baby. It's what I do. It's what I love. It's how I nurture it.
Right.
But I also say on the show all the time, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
Sometimes you need that person 100%. In your life. Sometimes you like it. Sometimes you don't like it at first. Regardless, we had an episode where that went down. A couple of weeks later, you're calling me, hey, bro, I got it. I'm starting this basketball league. So tell me just that how was it a launch pad? How did it? Tell me the story.
Well,
from your perspective.
I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Bring the Juice is woven into the history of Fresno Pro-Am League.
Appreciated.
And it's funny because I remember us having a conversation. I remember where I am when I'm having conversations, especially the ones that are important.
Right.
I'm walking around my apartments in the pool area, and we're talking about this idea. And you're like, man, this is going to be dope. I love this. And this was after we had swapped numbers on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And so
slide into those DMs, guys.
Slide into the DMs, man. Reach out to Fresno Pro-Am. Reach out to Bring the Juice. Very collaborative brands.
Right.
And so, we just had the conversation, bro. And you pushed it. You pushed it, man. And I went off that energy. And that's why this space right here is one of the more culture defining spaces in in sports in this area.
Yeah.
And that's on record.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I appreciate it.
No,
absolutely.
It's because it's true.
Right.
It's because it's true.
Right.
And anytime we come around, anytime we sit right here, things move. The needle moves.
Yep.
That's why there's so many cameras around us right now, because things are going to start moving. And so, man, what was your question again? Because I was just talking about you pretty much answered it, but just like how, I explained how we originally connected. I pushed you off the cliff to take that trust fall of, hey, yo, bro, you got a basketball league in front of your hands. Yeah.
Call it a league.
Yeah, man. Cause it was a team at the time.
It was a team, it was a club, it was a shoot around, blah, blah, blah. Nah, bro, it was a league. Literally like that. Like that. It's a league.
It was a league. But, now we're in a space where we've had a successful league.
Yes.
You asked me, hey, what do you see? What is Fresno Pro-Am?
Right.
What's the overall goal?
So for me, you want to collab communities. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm also a competitor to where, listen, there's levels to this shit. And you want to be, there's San Francisco above us, there's Los Angeles below us. California is the best state in the United States. We could debate that for an hour. But there's this fatty hole in the middle called Fresno. That's us. And people, if there is a competitive platform, will come and train here. That is college athletes that don't play at Fresno State. They play at other colleges, but they're home for the summer. That is NBA guys who are starting on NBA rosters. They're bench players. Maybe they float in and out between different conferences. Maybe they're overseas, but they're home right now. You created a gymnasium platform with coordinated teams and coaches that has a legit schedule. It's not a shoot around. It's a league. It's not a club. It's a league. It's not a, hey, be here at this time and we'll have captains and pick teams. Nah, man, it is a league. And because you did that, there's structure, which goes back to me saying there's levels to this. And this is why I know you are an inclusive league. Maybe you start an A league and a B league down the road. Maybe more dudes want to hoop in the Pro-Am. I don't know. But what I am going to hold you to on this podcast is there's levels to this. You can't just be some guy who played JV basketball and has a pair of Kobe's and likes to hoop. No,
you're not describing me.
No. Get out of here. You're commish, bro. You washed up now, man. Like you could go. You could. There's shoot arounds. you could have Fresno Pro-Am events, but when it comes to the Fresno Pro-Am League, the 6 or 7 weekends of the summer at right now it's Fresno City Gymnasium. We don't know where it's going to be next year. Maybe it'll be there again. Listen, that's where the real it's go time, bro. Come out early, stretch, have some plays.
100%.
Go ahead.
And to the players' credit,
Practice.
they come out there and they bring the juice.
Dude, they come in hot. I mean, I brought a couple friends. I brought my fiance to a couple of those games. She's like, these guys are good. These guys are good. And I'm like, these guys are good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man, these guys are good.
So, to their credit, I mean, I'm doing my job, coordinating, making sure there's some structure within that space.
Right.
Running around, me and my brothers, me and the family.
It's family business, bro. I get it.
Family business.
I get it.
Got my brothers working snack bar. We're running registration. We're running everything. So, and to the players' credit, like coming out there and just playing hard.
Right.
Not half-assing it. Really looking to get better. But really, I think the most important part is people seeing the future. People seeing the room for growth. And really people stepping up in that space. Because right now, I'm speaking in post-season terms, right? It's post-season for Pro-Am. We're in the designing of a board space, right? The designing of the structure in terms of on the back end, on the front office space. So it's about finding the right talent and the people who are servant leaders who have the right mentality to make sure that this goes, 50 years from now. And the reason why I say 50 is because, really 50 or 60, because Pro-Am basketball has been around for 50 to 60 years, right? And so we Fresno, in this area, we have a rich history of producing basketball players. Yeah. We've seen NBA players, right? We've seen top picks with Jalen Green. We've seen guys who have gotten to that space and guys who have gone overseas. So it's nothing new. Like, we do this. This is why why our motto is what it is. We do this. Like, this is nothing new. But it's about gathering all of that and creating this one voice for the basketball community and really catapulting that into the future. So that's
what would you say from, like I said, we talked about the development of the league, where it's at, the vision. After season 1, I'm going to ask you a series of questions here, but what would you say were the positives out of it? If you had to bullet point a few positives, what would you say?
A lot of them.
Can I start? I'm going to start my question.
I want to answer your question because I feel the answer, and it's like, for me, it's about bringing people together in a positive way, right? And it's about seeing people play and having the grandma in the stands, being able to watch them play for the first time in a while. Right. It's competitive
basketball.
It's competitive basketball, but like, I look at it from a lot of different angles, right? From the highest level of competing, I understand that, but also to the point to where it's like this game means something to me. And I get to bring my family along, and they get to watch me play this game. Right. Because we created those moments that'll last forever. But go ahead. That's me coming from the heart in terms of what I saw.
One of the biggest positives I had was the first day. So it was day 1 of the Fresno program. People were trickling into the gymnasium of Fresno City College, and you got the booths out. There's going to be some growing pains the first day. There's with anything. 100%. I'm sitting against the bleachers, don't know anybody, only white boy in the gym. And I'm looking around, and like, people know who bring the juices at this point. They're coming in, they know who the hell I am. And I'm kind of going up, chopping it with some people, make a couple friends. And the one thing that they all had in common was this. They were like, yeah, this is going to hit. This is going to hit. Like, I didn't know who was going to show up. I don't know if people are going to show up. Because guess what? It's Saturday mornings. People go out on Friday nights. People do things. I think you got enough of these high-profile players' attention to where it's a Friday night. They're telling their boys who want to go out to the club or go out drinking or whatever, hey, bro, I can't tonight. I got a game tomorrow. Wow, to the point where you could say, oh, I got a game tomorrow. Not, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I go out for a little. I just want to go home by like 11 because I got a little run tomorrow morning. Nah, bro. I got to chill tonight. I actually got to hydrate because I got a game tomorrow. That's the level that I thought it got to. And that's my biggest positive. Yes, the families came out. Yes, it was a good showing. You had some good video footage. You had a bunch of things. My next question is going to be the struggles you had. What would you say your biggest struggles you had? And then my following question is going to be, how could you improve off those struggles? What's your plan?
Biggest struggle had to be the time constraint that we had.
Limited gymnasium time?
No, just limited in terms of how much time we had to really prepare.
Before the season started.
Before the season even started.
Right. Because it was like a 3-week deal, wasn't it?
3 weeks. You got it right on the nail. So it was about 3 weeks having meetings with my brothers every single day about, all right, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And then having the rollouts, announcing the players, things of that nature. And that was challenging, man. It was mentally taxing. I had to put a lot of things on hold. Had a baby in the process.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that was tough. It was really tough, and I don't think people really know that side of it, but it was tough. Next year, my baby's older. Next year, I have more time. I mean, this year, I have more time. We're talking about this around this time. But then I think I'm going to state the obvious. I'm going to be Captain Obvious right now and say that there was room for improvement everywhere.
Of course.
Roster, coaches, right? Processes in terms of getting people registered and things of that nature. We can improve in the music. We can improve on the MC side of things. We can improve at the snack bar. We can improve at the front door. We can also improve at charging people at the door. We charge people at the door to watch their family play, but we're a foundation. And we do this for the community. We do this for Fresno, man.
Yeah.
So like me personally, I'm excited about lifting that $5 threshold to get into the door. Yes, it helped us out in terms of getting season 1 going, and everybody knew like this is the first of many.
Yeah.
But I'm excited next year to be able to bring in sponsors to where we can lift that threshold.
That's all awesome. I totally agree, and I think it is hard. You know, the two things I would say, because things aren't free in this world. That's as simple as that. You have the passion for basketball and you understand the vision where you have it. And I think I've came through across this with Bring the Juice too, where like, I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk to athletes that are chasing greatness. They have elite mindsets that are chasing greatness. And I want people to listen to these interviews, these shows, these episodes to understand like, hey, you could take something, you could take a piece from this episode. Maybe you're a guy right now you have a vision, but you haven't taken the step yet. You haven't DM'd me yet to talk about it or something like that. Not saying I got all the answers, but dude, you shot your shot and something's happening. I shot my shot with Bring the Juice and something's happening. Like you got to just shoot your shot if you could take any lesson from this episode right now. It's the first thing I would say. We're 20 minutes in, but it is hard to learn. Hey, how can we operate? Yes, we're a league now. Yes, we're for the people, but we can't lose money. And we want, instead of having, I'm just using this number, like let's say there are 100 people coming, we want to have 200 people coming. And then we want to have 300 people coming and then 400 people coming. What can we do? What's going to drive people to come here? And it's hard to piece that together in 3 weeks. It's very hard.
You're speaking about numbers right now, and there's numbers on these jerseys and stuff like that. But there's names on the top of those numbers, right? And so it's about those families for me. It's about the names of the people who walk through those doors, right?
Right.
And so for me, it's about like, reaching the people, and I think those numbers take care of themselves essentially, right? I'm super big on being inclusive when it comes to this basketball space, and the reason why. Yes, we have a high threshold for Fresno Pro-Am Basketball League in the summer.
Yeah.
We do. Like, that exists. Don't get me wrong.
That league.
The league has a standard. So I don't want anybody who thinks that they play, what I'm saying, rec basketball, and they think they're a champion. Understand that there are going to be NBA guys that are going to show up here and they're going to bring the A game. And if you expose yourself in that situation, that's on you.
There's 60 roster spots,
right?
And
don't get me wrong,
you got to make the top 60. That's simple as that. But there's other opportunities. What you're getting at?
Exactly. There's other opportunities, right? So we're operating with the Fresno Parks. You know what I mean? So we want to get citywide open runs on and popping across the city, and that's going to happen, and that's in the works. We'll make those announcements in due time, but. I'm big on inclusivity, but I'm also like, as you can tell, like firm on what those levels are, and that's what I can tell. That's what you're alluding to.
No. I mean, like I totally get it. I'm just like, okay. So I sit here with the microphone and I talk. I bought this house. I decorated it to make it look like a studio, which it is a studio now. And I have a microphone. But people don't realize, like, I just bought 100 sweatshirts to sell for Bring the Juice, which was $3,000 out of my bank account, that I'm hoping these sweatshirts sell so that I can make my money back. And I'm selling them for $40 and they cost $36.50. So, like, I'm not making money on it, but I want people to be repping Bring the Juice. Same with the hats. Any merch I have, if you've bought merch from me, like, I'm just covering pretty much expenses. Like, I'm not like, you go to some of these shops, like, it's $57 for a snapback, and I'm like, dude,
but you know why I know that
$20.
those numbers are, not to cut you off, but you know why I know those numbers are going to hit? It's because you resonate. You resonate with the people, and you resonate with the great.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Stuff like that.
And that's what I go for.
100%.
What I'm getting at is, it ain't cheap, it ain't free, and even though you got the Fresno program, you still got to provide for your family. You got other things. You have to be a dad. You have to be a brother. You have to be a husband. You have to be a son. You have to be all those things. And you're not full time with Fresno program yet, are you?
I am right now.
You are right now.
I am right now.
Okay, so you are right now, which is awesome because I considered doing it with Bring the Juice. But what I'm getting at is, like, you need to find ways to get sponsors involved. The community. When I say sponsors, I don't mean you got to get Nike. I'm saying you could get the JR Sports. You could get the freaking Dervo's Deli guys, which we'll talk about here in a sec. You could get these local sponsorships that are saying, hey, my name's Alton. I'm the commissioner of the Fresno program. These are the people coming to this. This is the community coming to this. We want you to get represented at this because it's going to produce, you're going to get exposure, basically.
100%. I mean, these sponsors understand. I mean, I hope. And these are the only sponsors I want to talk to.
Right.
So this is a message to all sponsors,
Sure.
all potential sponsors. If you have no desire to push hoop culture, the basketball community in Fresno forward,
Right. It's not the right fit.
it's not the right fit.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be the right fit. And so if you don't get it yet, maybe it'll happen in due time. But if you do, you know my name.
Right.
I'm here on Bring the Juice.
You'll be able to get in
There's
contact.
visibility.
Yeah.
We'll get in contact for sure.
What would you say then, like, is your outlook goals going into the next season?
Season one was about history, making history.
Sure.
And it truly was. It's never been done before. And so, season two and all the seasons moving forward is about looking forward into the future. We're late to the game.
Yeah. I get that.
You get what I mean by that?
I was late to the podcast game. There was guys who had it before me, but what are
I
you
was
going to
listening
do?
to a podcast 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. I'm late to it. Let's do another shit. What do you want me to do?
But it's a start. And so, and same with Fresno Pro-Am, like this is a start. So Pro-Am leagues have been around for 50, 60 years. Like I said, we're looking 50 to 60 years ahead. And as leadership in this space, we're looking at like how are we adopting new technology? How are we adapting to what 50 and 60 years look like? And so
When you say new technology, what do you mean?
Web3. Are there leagues across the country in the Pro-Am space that are looking at Web3 and saying, hey, here's what we can do with that?
What's Web3? I have no idea what Web3 is.
I'm not the most versed in it, but we do have somebody on our board that's well versed in it. And
Is it like a what does it do? Like finds players or what?
Web3?
I have no idea what Web3 is.
Web3. So web, I can go through the different webs. So Web2 right now, we're in a space where applications like Facebook, Instagram, you can create a profile, you can communicate with people. But Web3 is like this virtual reality type of space where cryptocurrency is relevant, where you can create your own currency, things of that nature. I'm not the most educated in this space, and that's one thing that I love about it is that I'm surrounding myself with people who are versed in that space. And so one thing that I do know is that in 50 to 60 years, Web3 is going to be like our Web2. Right now, we're in Web2 space.
Okay.
If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Applications. First there was the internet, right?
Okay, that's
then
what
we can connect, and it collapsed time.
Okay.
Right? You can send a message, you can send an email to somebody from across the world. You didn't have to ship it to them. You didn't have to ride a horse to go do that, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Web 2 is with applications, podcasting. You can click this icon.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, blah.
Now, Web 3,
you click this. Yeah.
Web 3, it's more decentralized. It's less like governed by big corporations. You get to create your own currency within these spaces. I don't want to go too deep into it.
Well, I'm just trying to wrap around how's that relevant to growing Fresno Pro-Am?
Oh, you'll find out. You'll find out.
That's just we're just gonna leave that at a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll find out because. Okay. But that's the thing. So imagine you imagine the NFL trying to figure out, man, this internet thing is coming. What is this, right? So it's an emerging technology and it's impacting the world. And then Steve Jobs comes around and says, hey, here's a personal computer. And then front offices at the NFL is like, oh, okay, let's get a personal computer and let's grow the league from a computer. What do we do? Like, that's these problems that they have to try to figure out. And so what I'm saying, I'm speaking towards the basketball community, looking at these emerging technologies and seeing how we can adopt them and how do we evolve with them, because we'll get left behind.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get it. I'm just thinking from the perspective of like, I'm not on Web 3. I'm on Web 2 right now.
Right.
I'm on, I believe, like I 100% believe I'm not the guy. Look at my personal Instagram. I don't post on it very often. Look on Bring the Juice. I try to post once to 2 times a day because content is king and people want to see it. People want to see if you're doing something, if you're perfecting your craft, they want to see something good. They want to see it. And so I'm trying to grow on Twitter and interact with fans. I'm trying to grow on Instagram and interact with fans and have a Facebook page for my old timers. And I got a YouTube because we got crispy videos with Jake. And I'm trying to grow those pages because that's just the level I'm on. I like you know this, like I work a whole nother job. Like I'm planning a wedding. I got shit I got to do. And I'm not necessarily anti Web 3. I want to make that clear. I just always believe like, and this is kind of the way I think of Bring the Juice is like, yes, I have listeners in Texas, in Florida, in Mississippi, in Michigan, in Maine, in Boston, you name it. But if I don't have the listeners in Fresno, then I ain't shit yet. I need to make sure that the whole valley, the whole city of Fresno knows who and what Bring the Juice does.
Let me ask you this. Are there the right listeners right now? Do you feel like, okay, we have the right listeners, right?
Okay.
Right. There's certain companies and certain brands that have put themselves out there and be like, hey, we want to market to everybody, but are you marketing to the right people? And I'm going to give you an example, right? For instance, Fresno Pro-Am is being mentioned in the right rooms with college coaches, trainers, elite athletes, things of that nature. So would you say that Bring the Juice is being mentioned in those same rooms? And that's a rhetorical question because I mean,
yeah, I do think so.
Right.
We're on Fox Sports now. We're on iHeartRadio now. We're on TV now through ASTV. We definitely are growing. And all I was getting at is like, okay, let's say there's 1 million people. Let's say there's 1 million people in the valley, in the Fresno area. Okay, if I could get 10,000 of that 1 million, that's 10,000 people, bro. Have you ever been in a room with 10,000 people? That's a lot of freaking people. And if they're all the right ones who are bought in, thinking to themselves, hey, I once was an athlete. I love sports. My kid's an athlete. I like podcasts. Those are my 4 niches. And I want to listen to Bring the Juice because I like hearing other athletes' perspective.
All right.
I just like Frank. Or I like hearing motivational shit. Or I like hearing about the locker room stories. Or I like just being around the sports environment.
100%.
I think out of that 1 million people, there's 10,000 purebred people that are Bring the Juice fans. And that's kind of where I'm at with my numbers for Bring the Juice.
100%.
To where I want to take those 10,000 floaters and make them a strong 20,000 and then have the other 5,000 from around the country and continue to build. And my second biggest region right now for having an audience is Fresno, California and Atlanta, Georgia. Michael Walker's one of my best friends, plays for the Falcons, been on the Bring the Juice a couple times. Dylan Lee won the World Series with the Braves last year. I got multiple boys on the Falcons that want to come on. Dylan Lee's going to slide back on for the Braves. I want to get the right people, yes, because that's what matters. But I think you have to eat the low-hanging fruit. And for me, if I could win the Fresno community, well, then I got a good base. And I can't go to Dallas, Texas tomorrow to interfere with people. Who the hell am I? I'm a Fresno State alum. I played football here. I had a stint training with Team USA. That's what people know me as. I got brothers who play at Fresno State, and I started this podcast where I have local athletes bred from the Valley or have a connection from the Valley that come on here. So they're interested in it because of the Valley. The name is Fresno Pro-Am, which is sick. But if there's someone in Dallas that's investing, why would he not go to the Dallas Pro-Am versus the Fresno Pro-Am?
He definitely would, and he definitely should.
Right. So I'm saying you need to get that low-hanging fruit of the Valley. The Valley connects, the Valley crowd. Am I off on that?
No, you're 100% right.
Okay.
We've yet to hit certain milestones, right?
Which takes time. It takes time.
100%, and it's patient. And guess what? That's why we're playing the long game. That's
Right.
why I speak in terms of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, because certain things right now at this point, it's inevitable.
How old are you?
Take a guess. Don't mess me up now.
28.
31.
Okay, you're 31.
Right.
50 years from now, you're gonna be 81.
Right.
I'm gonna give you. I feel like I'm fucking on like a podcast right now of someone else's besides my own, but I'm gonna give you the 10x right
Welcome
now.
to
I'm gonna give you the 10x right now. Whatever your 5-year plan was, try to do it in 90 days right now.
Well, but that's
100%.
But that
Because Alton, I'm telling you, bro, like it's
because-
you have to go hard. You have to.
But there's certain areas where I have to do that, and there's certain areas where you be patient and you play the long game.
Dude, name one.
Web3 is a long game, and so that's why I explain it to you right now. Listen, if I would have told you in September of last year, actually, you know what?
Web3 sounds dumb as shit. I'm gonna tell you
okay,
right now.
fair, right? That's fair.
It sounds dumb
That's
as
fair.
hell.
I love that because there's a lot of people who are listening and be like, "Yeah, I feel what Frank is saying." But guess what? You would have thought Fresno Pro-Am was dumb if I would have told you a year ago from today.
No, I didn't.
Because guess what? Guess what we were doing on Wednesday nights? Guess what we were doing on Wednesday nights? We were playing, and guess what? I have footage of the first run, and it didn't look like shit was happening.
Okay.
It didn't look like shit was happening, but guess what? We kept going. We played the long game. Pros started showing up.
Yeah,
and then you seen Fresno Pro-Am.
Don't you want to have
But if I told you Fresno Pro-Am, we're going to start a league. We're going to run it in the summertime. You'd have been like, that sounds stupid. How are you going to do that? You guys have 12 people that show up at the Clovis Rec every Wednesday. How are you going to do that?
I don't think that's a comparable thing. I'm saying I think you should get 1,000 followers on Instagram before you try to create a cryptocurrency.
All right, we need 80 more followers. We need Franks. We need bring the
We'll
juice
try to get
followers
it. I'm saying I would make social media goals through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, things of that nature.
Bro.
Before you're like, I'm trying to go Web3 with the cryptocurrencies. You see my
We're dialing back. We're dialing back, right?
Okay.
Okay, we're dialing back. Because I can tell you, we're in a whole different space. Fresno Pro is a whole different ball game in terms of how we can market and how we get people involved.
Okay.
Antetokounmpo, Jalen Green, he sends one tweet out.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to play. That's it.
I agree.
That gym is going to be packed.
So when are you going to get the one tweet is what I'm saying.
I can't. We're leaving that up to the basketball gods.
Okay.
That's it. We're leaving that. And that's where the patience comes in. Because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. So right now, when we're talking to each other in 2022,
Right.
we can't really say when that tweet's going to come out from said NBA player.
So hang on. Before we continue, I got to do a couple ad reads real quick. Once you guys become, I know you guys are nonprofit right now, right?
100%.
Well, if you were to become a business someday, you should use Fresno First Bank, okay? Because Fresno First Bank, they're local to Fresno and the community. They got a strong connection with business owners. They help grow and succeed. They're the best. You walk in there. I'm going to get these boys to start coming out and watch these Fresno programs. They would love it. Extremely local. They understand the business and personalized procedures for each business owner. And, when you walk in the door, they give you a high five, a handshake. Yo, did you catch that game of the Fresno program yesterday? Yo, you hear that Bring the Juice episode yesterday? Totally personalize the banking experience. They take a sound business approach. And honestly, one of the Bring the Juice gets, Kenny Wiggins. He owns Mayweather Fitness, the boxing gym. He owns a couple other businesses. Text me yesterday. He's like, hey, I know Fresno First Bank from your podcast. I want to connect with them and do business.
That's some cool commercials.
Fresno First Bank. Yeah, they do some great commercials. Additionally, as you know, Dervos Delis is my guy. Shout out to Dervos Deli. Gonna do a live podcast there in a couple weeks. People are gonna get to come out. If you wear a Bring the Juice hat, we're gonna have a special, something crispy like that. As you know, they got the fries that'll cross your eyes, the shakes that'll make you quake, and they just got burgers. They got the nice crispy lettuce on all their freaking sandwiches, the aiolis on the chicken sandwich that makes me freaking fired up. Dervos Deli, you gotta check it out. All right, so with all that being said, okay, I just talked about my sponsors, all right? Let's transition to this. If Fresno Pro-Am had to target 1 to 2 to 3 sponsors right now, who's on your list? Shooting your shot right now. I'm not talking season 10. I'm talking upcoming summer.
Yeah, upcoming summer. Adidas is on our hot list right now.
Of course.
We're in conversation.
You need a manufacturer.
We need a jersey sponsor.
Absolutely. That's it's a league, as you should.
We need a jersey sponsor, and matter of fact, we don't need one because we can actually make it happen without one. But we'd love to bring somebody in that makes a good fit.
It's ideal.
It's ideal. We like what Adidas stands for, and we appreciate them. So them.
Wait, are you happy they just dropped Kanye West?
Are we gonna go there?
No, we don't have to.
We don't have to go there.
Read about it today.
I'm not going there.
Hey, you might get a deal.
Who? Kanye West?
You might be able to get some Yeezys for cheap right now, like for the whole league or something like that. They for sure got to get discounted.
You think so?
You don't think Yeezys are going to get discounted now that he just got dropped by Adidas?
No, I think they're going to boost up.
I don't know.
I think the value is going to go up. First of all, they're going to stop producing them. We're going there.
I think people they don't want to be affiliated with Kanye right now.
Right now.
Wait 2 weeks.
How many times have we forgiven Kanye? We never forget Kanye, but how many times have we forgiven him?
Bro, I don't even keep tabs on that shit anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You lose count.
All right, so Adidas.
And whoever has vested interest in elevating the Pro-Am or the
hoop culture of Fresno,
100%.
So who's on your hot list? If you had to just say
those people, I know, but
you got to have some names, man. Like I knew Dervos Deli wanted to be engaged in the Fresno community and help the restaurant grow. I reached out to them because I had a platform. Fresno First Bank. I saw their commercials. They had athletes on. I said, hey, I got those same athletes on every week. Let me read a cool little ad for you guys with cross-pollination of all these athletes every week through Bring the Juice. It's the same audience. They loved it.
Yeah, 100%. Dervos Deli is on our list.
Oh, come on now.
No, we really don't have a target list. We're looking for a certain type of investment, if you will. It's people who are interested in elevating the hoop community.
I do have sponsors that listen to these. What do you have any rates right now that you could release, or like a ballpark at least?
Oh yeah, they're out there. We have a link.
Yeah.
But I usually don't like to approach the conversation that way.
Sure. Because
it's that exactly a conversation. And so I like to walk into the business and really introduce myself and have conversations that way. But yeah, shout out to all the sponsors that are listening.
Yeah, seriously. We'll make something happen. We got more time this time. There's more. You don't have 3 weeks. You got months to make this happen.
100%.
I saw you I think I saw this on Twitter where there was maybe it's just some Twitter bullshit about a potential women's Pro-Am league.
Man. Is
there enough women in the Valley to make it happen, you think?
100%.
There is?
Yeah.
I just think of like the high schools here produce enough, and then they have the women's basketball team, and then it's crazy how many girl hoopers I know from here.
No, tons of them.
Yeah.
It's about organizing it.
Right.
And I mean, I have very few contacts in the women basketball space. But I definitely love to have conversations about having a Fresno Pro-Am women's side.
Right.
In the same way that the Drew League has it. But yeah, they're hooping out there.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
hooping out there. The women's basketball team at Fresno State, mad support, mad love.
I know. Is her name Artie McDonald?
Mm-hmm.
She just came back, right?
She's in the off season right now.
She's in the off season right now, but so their off seasons are different.
Yeah, that's what makes it tricky.
Well,
so we'd be running our league right now.
That's not
for the
a
women.
bad thing necessarily, though.
No, but it takes planning.
Yeah.
It takes planning.
I just think about. I mean, I'm just thinking like, not hating on women's basketball at all right now, but people do like watching men's basketball more. I don't know if you'd get as much of a. How many women come to your open runs? None.
We have had one.
That's what I'm
Actually,
saying.
2, maybe 3.
So maybe it would be like a hey, let's start with an open run type deal, and then see if it could develop into a league.
It'd be us really reaching.
Yeah.
Because if we only had 3 in the course of over a year,
Right.
it's us really reaching. And so that's why if I feel like if I get into that space, I got to reach out to the top dogs. I got to reach out to Ari McDonald.
Yeah.
And I tweeted out to her. Me and her brother played high school basketball together. She's been real supportive, really, of the idea so far, just in terms of like, hey, I like the idea. But nothing's moving in that space yet. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to speak out of turn or out of order on that.
So between now, first tip off of the 2023 Fresno Pro-Am would be June. Does that sound right? Something around that?
Yeah. So June of summer of next year. Yeah. 2023.
What can people either plan or go watch between now and then? Do you have any tournaments planned, 3-man tournaments planned, fundraisers for the upcoming season planned, anything along those lines that players could plan, people could go watch on a Saturday morning?
Less is more. Less is more is how I feel right now. So we have our invite runs where we have our pro guys and college guys that come out and play.
Right.
We recently just cut that off to the beginning of 2023.
Because everyone's in season now.
Everyone's in season. Yeah, exactly. So this is our first time being in this form in this part of the year. If that makes sense. Fresno Pro-Am didn't exist around this time last year, so we're learning a lot in terms of what that entails. But so nothing until further notice. If you don't hear from Fresno Pro-Am page or me, then nothing's happening. Just assume nothing's happening, that we're working in the back end.
What can you do? I'm just thinking we talked about growth on socials. We talked about growth of the league. Mm-hmm. Are you, and I want to give your video guy over here a quick shout out. Maximiliano, correct?
Correct.
Looking good in the corner over there, brother. But you got a guy like that on your team now. You are getting more structured, more professional with it as you go. Is it to the point where maybe you start planning some trips, going to maybe some college games, maybe some guys who potentially would play in this league, and after the game say, hey, like, I'd love for you to come out to Fresno in early June and get you going. Like, are you at the point where you're willing to drive to LA or drive to the Bay or drive to Reno, Nevada, or Salt Lake City, Utah, to try to get a couple, pull some talent back towards the Valley just to keep growing?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I am right now.
Right.
I'm watching high school basketball players. I'm reaching out to the trainers and high school basketball coaches and kind of just figuring out, who's ready for this opportunity. Yeah. Who's who. And oftentimes these guys, they find me. Mm-hmm. They find Fresno Pro-Am, which is a beauty. So, I'm big on attraction, and Fresno Pro-Am is a huge attraction. So they're finding us, and yes, I'm willing to go out and travel because that's a part of this job is to go out and get in the field.
You got to go get
your hands dirty. Shake hands. Kiss babies.
Shaking hands, kiss babies, baby.
Kiss babies, and build those connections, and build those bridges. Yeah, 100%.
Alton, I love it. I mean, it's been a banger of a pod. Do you have anything you want to add before I wrap it up?
Yeah. So other Pro-Am leagues, other commissioners across the country, can expect to hear from me.
Okay.
We're working to where the Web3 space is looking to invest in our space with the Pro-Am. Mm-hmm. And so,
that's all Pro-Ams or that's Fresno Pro-Am?
Both.
Okay.
Starting in Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't want to get too ahead of myself
Sure.
when it comes to this because It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like, oh, this is pie in the sky idea, but definitely appreciate all the support from everyone who sees the vision and everyone who's standing up and saying, hey, I want to be in a leadership position within Fresno Pro-Am. So
Right.
That's pretty much all I got to say.
Well, if there's a board spot open, I would definitely throw my hat in the ring. I'd love to be a part of it, help it. As always, I'm for the boys. Alton, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I, for one, I want to make it a personal goal. We'll have to get a meeting before the season starts. Let's be structured about, I don't want to just come out with an iPhone this year where my fiance is holding it in a mic where I'm yelling. Like, let's be structured. Let's see how we can make this blow up. I got some connects now with KC24, ABC 30, Fox Sports, iHeart. I want to utilize that because I believe in this 100%. I think you could grow. I'm going to be the guy who stays on your ass, making sure that you keep your foot on the gas because everyone needs that. I have that guy in my life. I have multiple of those guys in my life. And as much as it's like, bro, I got a vision, like I'm cool. It does make me think sometimes. And I believe in it. Being a 5'5" I'm not going anywhere. So I want to see the basketball community grow. Even though I'm not a basketball guy, I think there's so much opportunity to make this be on ESPN2 in the next 3 years, without a doubt. So with that, y'all make sure to follow Fresno Pro-Am. Get them to that 1,000 freaking follower mark. So
we only need 80 followers. That's
all right, we'll see what we can do here. And check out Alton. Check out this episode. Go to our YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, do all that. We're lacking on YouTube right now. All our socials are doing good. We got to pick up our YouTube a little bit, guys. Get your piss hot. Support your freaking local athletes.